Welcome to the beautiful communities of Seidlers and Millers Hill, right on the edge of the city and town of Cedarburg. We have Sherman Court that we're right here, one of the main roads, and behind us is Seidlers. Across the street is Miller Hill. And what we can actually see in these communities are some pretty decent sized lots. So lots of privacy and also beautiful construction starting in the $800,000 to $1 million price range. You cross the street over into Millers Hill, you're now in the town. This is city. And that is actually in estate zoning on a private drive. It's a beautiful community that I've actually had a listing in as well, which I will put a video of the full tour of that property up above so you can see what it's like to live in one of those properties. And they actually also have a few lots left over in Millers Hill. So if you want a really private community that's like literally within 5 minutes of anything in Cedarburg, there still are about 3 or 4 more lots available to be developed in that neighborhood that I know the owners of personally, so feel free to reach out and I can reach out to them for you as well. My name is Jacob Sheets, your Wisconsin real estate agent, and me and my affiliated agents cover the entire state of Wisconsin. So once you're ready to buy or sell anywhere in the entire state of Wisconsin, you can book an appointment down below on our calendar for myself or any of my affiliated agents to ensure you're well taken care of with people that I personally know, like, and trust. So while we drive through these neighborhoods together, if you do love any of these specific homes, lots, or anything like that, you can click on the link below and you'll see if any of them are currently publicly available for sale. If there's one that you just totally fall in love with, I can actually reach out to the sellers directly as well. You just have to reach out to me and I will go ahead and knock on their door, find their contact info, reach out, whatever we got to do to make sure you find the perfect home for you. We'll be driving through this community in just a second, so you'll see everything that it has to offer. But if you do want to see if anything's publicly listed for sale, there's another link, refreshed live time, that you can see all of the lots and homes that are currently available for sale. But if there's nothing publicly for sale and one really popped out to you that you love, home or lot, you can go ahead and reach out to us and we can reach out to the sellers directly to see if they're interested in making a move. Real quick before we get started, please do hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring our notification doorbell so you don't miss any of our future videos. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at Seidlers Pond and Millers Hill. Here are the statistics for the Seidler Ponds and Miller's Hill subdivision in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. If we take a look, we can see the low end and the high end on the purchase price range, anything from about $650,000. That was back in 2021, so things are very different now in 2024. Prices have escalated significantly, and as high as $1.46 million. Now, what is the difference? We can go over here and we can see which subdivision each one of these are in. So it shows all of them in Seidler Pond except for the one here in Miller's Hill. This was at 7783 Sherman Court. This was a listing of mine that I had. This one was a very unique property, and it had a additional huge indoor horse arena and an additional outdoor arena as well. So this was an interesting sell. And the back Barn Pros barn with the additional horse stalls as well behind the property. This was on a little over a 5-acre lot. We can see the Miller's Hill subdivision has right around these 5-acre lots over here, and they have the around 1-acre lots over in Seidler Ponds. The difference between being in the city and the town of Cedarburg, Seidler Pond here is in the city, Miller's Hill is in the town and has estate zoning. We can go over that in a little bit once we get to the actual visual of the map itself, so we can see the border between the city and the town of Cedarburg. Now we can see here the again 650. What does this get you here? This again about 3 years ago or so. This was about 3,600 square feet. Of that, about 1,000 of that is in the lower level, with the total price per square foot was back at around $180 per square foot. Now we can kind of see it has shot up significantly since then. Anything on this smaller property, again, it'll be kind of skewed a little bit, larger for price per square foot with a smaller home, especially when you don't have something that is any type of basement square footage. With that being said, we have about $260 list price and $290, so almost $300 it sold for. And then over here we had $238, $210, and $256. That's price per square foot. Now the actual sold prices here, we have list price versus sold price. So here we had, again, right around the asking price. Here we had in 2022, this was sold up at $825,000. This was a ranch style property. Both of these are single story homes, and they were going at 2,800 square feet. It was a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom on 1 acre, 4.5 car garage. And we can see here in the Cranes Crossing here, this was at 1.1 million. It was listed at 1.2, sold at 1.1 after about a month on the market here. And this was, I believe, a limited service listing as well when they had people going through it. And total 3-car garage, 4,618 square feet. Of that, about 2,000 of that is downstairs in the basement. Of course, this is listed accurately here in the MLS for all the stats. This listing here we had, it was on the market for 9 days. Now this is actually a little different because it was on the market for a significantly longer period of time beforehand as well. It had one full marketing season, went off for the holidays, and then relaunched. And when we did a relaunch open house and did the pre-marketing campaign the second time for that new open house, changed up some of the marketing materials as well, and just captured a whole new audience, we were able to get under contract from that initial relaunch open house. So that was as a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bathrooms on 5.5 acres to about 6,600 finished square feet, and 2,500 of that total square footage was downstairs in the basement. So it had expansive amount of square footage downstairs. Now go ahead and looking at the most recent sale. This was recently in April of 2023, and then the most recent, however, was just sold in November of 2023. It said it was on the market for 15 days, but it was listed as a for sale by owner for quite a long time. I'd say maybe 3 to 6 months or so, when they had the sign in the yard, basic pictures that they put up online for themselves, and didn't sell, so then they listed with an agent and got it under contract. We can see here that it was listed at 1.5 million and sold at 1.46, so about 40,000 under their asking price. Still pretty good for this caliber of property. So in all honesty, good for them for selling it for this price and setting the precedent for this neighborhood, being anywhere from the as low as 650 as high as $1.5 million. With that being said, these are old numbers, so I mean, like, it'd be really, really hard, even in one of these smaller ranches that is left over here in the Seidler Ponds subdivision, to get in my opinion, anything under 800,000. I don't think it would be easy to do that. And then of course in Miller's Hill across the street,
we'll get into this, but there are 2 lots that are not currently built on that I know the owners of. I reached out to them when I had the Sherman Court listing, so I know them, and obviously that you'd be able to get a little bit more affordable and then build yourself. But the type of property you'd be building on that would be about a $1 to $2 million property, with the way that increased costs have been for building, but also just the neighbors nearby as well. You're not going to have a tiny little, 800 square foot property that you're going to build on here. It's going to go ahead and kind of fit in with the rest of the estate zoning properties here in the town of Cedarburg that is in the Miller's Hill. So you can pause this video and take a look at all these statistics as much as you would like, and if you would like to get a full breakdown of all this with all of the pictures of all of these listings, all of the extra details, when the tax record, and everything like that, you can send a message out to us either in the business email, which we have listed below, or you can set an appointment on our calendar with the link below, or just reach out in the comments and we can start a dialogue at that point as well. If you're curious to see if there are any properties like these, as you can see, nothing is available on the market in these neighborhoods currently. But if there is something right now for you, whenever you're watching this video, you can of course click that additional link as well, which will go to our custom website for you that has every single property that's currently available, if there is one. If it's blank, obviously there's nothing currently available, and you can see exactly what you can choose from if you want to live in Seidler Ponds or Miller's Hill. All right, let's hop over to the Google Earth view and see what it's like in the neighborhood surrounding Seidler Ponds and Miller's Hill. Starting big picture, we know here in Wisconsin, we're in the southeast part of the state, just northeast of Milwaukee. So we can go ahead and take a look at where we're at here in Cedarburg. Again, as a reminder, the main entrance off of the highways is to go off of here in Grafton, or exit here in Cedarburg off of 43, heading north from Milwaukee. We can head on over, most people will go over here, and then take Wauwatosa Road here, which will head north over to our area on the northwest side of the city of Cedarburg. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer. This red highlighted that was there, that was the city and not the town. So actually I'll go back a little bit just so we can manually zoom in as well and see that this is the border of the city and the town. So right here we have the city. This is Seidler Pond, and across the street here is the Miller's Hill subdivision. So I'll leave the red line up here so we can kind of see a little bit of the difference. What's interesting is that when you go in and see, again, like I mentioned earlier, this is estate zoning. So this is kind of a little bit higher class, and also allows you to do a few more things in the town that's very interesting, right? So it's a lot more residential, but at the same time it's elevated for the property types that are to be built in the properties, and also it's a lot more private with the private drive community. The HOA that's connected is very tight knit, obviously with only about 10 or so people in it. You would imagine that's correct as well. And you have a little bit more of the hybrid lifestyle where you can have animals. You can have horses, you can have chickens, you can have a little bit more with a minimum 5-acre lot that is currently constructed. So a lot more options available to you with these 5-acre lots that are literally right next to, or basically in the city of Cedarburg, but are really conveniently one of the closest areas that is in the town of Cedarburg, with being able to be walkable to things like schools, Parkview Elementary School. We can see Webster Middle School and the high school, Cedarburg High School, it's here, and the historic downtown Cedarburg. So with that, like this community here, these two are really, really special because you can have the estate level housing, and also across the street, which is not zoned estate, but they're, just very, very similar, if not one notch down in quality of construction, type of lot, amenities that are available, with some special perks that Miller's Hill doesn't have as well, which I'll get to in just a moment. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a time lapse here and see what the changes are in the neighborhood over time. So we can see right here is one of the main ones in Seidler Ponds. We can see recently constructed. This looks like an active job site, but right now it's completely constructed. It's all done. It's a nice little property that is welcoming you in when you're going to Seidler Ponds. And the other thing I want to point out to you is that this community lot here, this is all in ownership of the Seidler Ponds community. You can even see that there's a little private sign here saying like, hey, this is just for the community, the people that are living here in this community. And it has private walks here. These are nice little nature trails. They're not like paved. This one here is just more like mown in and maintained over time, which is really cute and pretty. And it also has this trails going in here. You can see it enters in this area and it goes in through this wooded area as well. So very private, very nice. And also has a little like wood walkway that goes back over in this direction as well. So it's a really special, really cool community feel. Over here they have a gazebo, and they have the access to this little pond, a little bit of water space as well. Yes, it is in the city of Cedarburg, and it is not estate zoning, but it does have a lot of these extra amenities that are a selling point to the property as well. And I didn't mention this as well, but there is a tennis court here as well in the southern part of the neighborhood. Now crossing the border of Sherman Road right here. Here's Wauwatosa, here's Sherman Road. We have the Millers Hill subdivision. Now these lots, you might say, oh wow, there's a lot of open space, but there's actually the way these lots are laid out are a little bit longer. So they actually go across the road on this side of the drive. So like for example, this here is the full lot itself. Here's lot 2, lot 3, lot 4. And then once we get into this area, then it starts being subdivided of just on one side of the road. So like this has 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lot, 4 lot. These ones here are all long. And the reason for that too is these are obviously wet, right? There's ponds here. You're not going to be building in a pond. Surprise, surprise. This is also a little bit more of a wetland, so you're not going to be building on that, but it is still owned by the neighbor across the street. So the 2 lots that are available left in Millers Hill are right here and right here. Both of them are some of the highest points in all of Ozaukee County. And you can see even from the peak of this one, when I was pursuing it with another different buyer and kind of communicating with the sellers going, hey, do you want to buy this land or not? You could see on top of here, not quite the water over in Lake Michigan over here, but you can see kind of the tree line going over to that. If you were to build, on the very, very peak of this lot, and you were to kind of go up to maybe 3 stories, you can get a little bit up on top, you would for sure be able to see that water, which would be really, really cool, special, unique. And this type of property here, the way the elevation is, there's a significant hill. There's a ridge right here, and there's a hill right here as well. So it kind of slopes up, and this is more of a dramatic slope upwards. And down here is a lot lower of land. So if you build on this lot here, if you're able to go up in this area, then you have a much larger advantage as far as views goes and being able to see the sunset. This one you get good sunsets going to the west, but this one in particular, like you can be able to see the sunset going over here. Seidler Pond is in a much lower elevation than Millers Hill here, at least these the areas that they've been building on for Millers Hill. So you can kind of oversee all these their beautiful homes. Like there's one spot, they even have like a bench out here that's so cool. And when I was growing up, we would go over here and call it Sunset Hill. We'd be able to park over here and watch sunsets go down, whether with family, with friends, for a little date night or whatever. And it's really special memories for us personally. But down here, you're not going to see quite as glamorous of a sunset, where in this area you will. So if that's something that's important to you, I know it's something that I love, having westward facing exposure for end of day. You can just get outside and just enjoy the sunset itself. Being able to see that from over here is a nice little extra benefit. As far as other local amenities goes, I'm going to leave it here for this video because there's so many other things I touch on that are so close and nearby in our other videos. If you want to see other cool neighborhood community features, go ahead and watch one of our prior neighborhood videos that are very similar. I'd recommend maybe the White Oaks subdivision, which we can pop up as an example on the screen now. But that is actually just up here, northwest. I would call it one of the more comparable neighborhoods. This is the White Oaks and Malone Meadows as well. This here is a little bit further out of the city of Cedarburg. So this is going to be a little more premium in my opinion, because if you take a look here, we're here and you can kind of get into the town or the city of Cedarburg, depending on what's important to you and what you would like. Right here, connected to the actual city itself, literally walkable or bikeable. You could go on this road here on Sherman, but it's a little fast and most people won't let their, feel comfortable having their children walking on this road. Biking, it's a little bit more manageable, and being able to get connected to things like the pool and the downtown Cedarburg is really, really easy. Where if you go up here to like your White Oaks and Malone Meadows subdivision, and you're heading up over here towards the Five Corners, highway conjunction they would call here, and getting into the town, the city, it's a little bit more difficult to do, especially even if you are going to be biking or anything like that. So a little bit quieter, but a little bit further away. And then right here again, you have this really, really, really fantastic feature of being able to have privacy, have wide open spaces, nice high quality luxury style properties that are really to the level of estate level homes, being so close to the amenities that make Cedarburg cute, charming, quaint, and a slower pace of life, while being so close to the bigger cities of Milwaukee, Madison, even up in Oshkosh to Green Bay area. Very, very nice commuting territory. So if any of these communities here are a perfect fit for you after reviewing, or anything else in our neighborhood tours, go ahead and reach out to us. We want to be working with you. That's why we're putting out all this free content to educate you and get you connected to all of these Wisconsin communities so you find the right community quest for yourself and your family, right? So you can reach out to us by scheduling a buyer or listing appointment if you live in one of these communities and you love the marketing that we've done on the homes, just like we have here in the Sherman Court property. I'll put a video above in the card in the upper right corner of the video here so you can see how we marketed this home with video on YouTube itself as well to help attract buyers and do pre-marketing, so we had that successful open house we mentioned earlier on the stats. We absolutely love meeting new clients, hearing their stories, and serving them well in the time that works for you so that you can absorb all of this free content and feel comfortable reaching out, whether you're saying, hey, I really love the way you operate, Jacob. I love that you lead with value first, and you and anyone in your team I'd love to get connected with and work with for our next real estate transaction, whether it's literally right now, I want to go write an offer on a property, or in a year, 2 years, just start the relationship, reach out to us right away, and then we can continue to build and continue that relationship so that we are your trusted real estate partner.
So, did we miss anything in our tour through Seidler Ponds and Miller's Hill? Go ahead and let us know in the comments below. You live in this community and you really want to showcase something that's really cool about it. So whether you reach out today or in the next year or so after binging through all of our free content, we are excited to add value to you and welcome you into your new community here in Wisconsin. We're excited to work with you, and we will see you next time.